Greetings, fellow Earthlings. So, today's message that I want to do is going to be all about you, right? And I want to talk about a few of the guided messages I got before I started recording this video, okay? So, the first message I got was the song, I'm on the edge of glory. That song is extremely important for you guys. It has a message for you that you're on the verge of something amazing, right? The next message I got was, following your sense of truth will bring you justice when it comes to you stepping out of isolation. Are you starting a business, or are you trying to create a project or something in your life that you've been working on for quite a while now, and it just feels like you've been so isolated? It's like not many people are noticing what you do or what you provide. This is where that song comes into play, talking about that you're on the edge of something amazing, right? You're on the verge of creating this thing in such a profound way that you're going to be noticed by so many people, right? The next guided message I got was, stop chasing money and chase your purpose. Now, I know that in the society that we live in today, money is everything, right? We have to focus on earning finances in order to survive as a human, right? And it is very essential for us to have that finances behind us to be able to live the kind of life that we desire, right? But a way to create an income will come through your purpose. And the reason I say that is because when you're extremely passionate about something and you create a business out of it, right? You will be able to earn those finances through your passion, through what the Most High or your ancestors or the universe has sent you to do in this lifetime. The next guided message is, we have just gone through a major transition, a release of the old or childhood wounds in order to step into our own purpose with more consciousness. And now, what I got when I heard that message from the ancestors is that this transition we just went through is an extremely important transition where it helped us release a lot of the things that we were struggling with in our past, right? And a lot of the things that we were that we were struggling with has got to do with our inner selves, right? It's got to do with depression, anxiety, stress. It's got to do with self-worth, self-value, right? It's valuing your own time, effort, and energy. And this is what is putting us into this great opportunity, or this edge of glory that we are currently stepping into, if I can say that, right? And then the last guided message is that there is a new passionate opportunity approaching. Now, this passionate opportunity, I feel like it's linked to every message that I've given above of my guided messages. Because in the first part of this message, I mentioned that by following your sense of truth will bring you justice when it comes to you stepping out of isolation, right? And there is the new passionate opportunity that is being presented, right? It will be to further the project or business or whatever you're trying to do, your purpose, right? There is an opportunity that will come in to actually further that in a very profound way. So I'm definitely getting, just from these messages, that there is a lot to look forward to in our near future, right? And there's definitely many changes that we are currently making in our own lives in order to be accepting of this new opportunity, right? Because if we aren't healed, if we still have that stress or childhood wounds and all of that, it is going to be very difficult for us to take on this very awesome opportunity that is being presented to us. So, keeping in mind, we have to take control of our emotions, our thoughts, and our being in order to direct it more authentically and consciously in the direction of our purpose, right? Because each one of us have a great purpose to live for in this lifetime that we are living currently. And it is very important that you follow this purpose. Otherwise, you'll live a life that feels not so great, right? You will live a life that is unfulfilling. Another thing I just heard is when you take on this new opportunity, right, there is a lot of responsibility that comes with it. So we have to be prepared and open-minded enough to realize these responsibilities and take control of these responsibilities in order to make it a great success, right? In order to become a business owner, we have to be a boss, right? We can't just start a business and be a follower, right? If we are following society and the norms that people are creating, where we have to go to work and come home, or if creating a business is not for you, this is just an example that I'm using, right? In order to create that sense of structure and stability in your life, it is essential that we do what is necessary in order to reach those goals, keeping in mind that we stay humble, we stay connected to the earth, meaning we are grounded, and making sure that we are conscious and aware of all of the decisions we make. Because we can't just be agreeing to things that don't resonate with us, especially in this new phase that we are about to enter. We can't just agree with things that appear in our world just because they appeared, right? If it does not resonate with you, you have to choose something else that resonates more with who you are and what your purpose is. Now, let's get into the reading. Okay. So, show me the cards I need to see. Whoop, there we go. Okay, the first 3 cards have come out. Okay, so the first card we have here is the 9 of Fire. This energy has been the underlying energy in a lot of my readings that I've recently done, right? And this card talks about being the wounded warrior. It talks about having fought so many battles and experiencing so many traumatic experiences that it actually affected our self-confidence or our self-worth, right? And the ancestors want us to be aware of how strong we truly are, right? Because all of these battles we fought, all of these traumatic experiences, they made us stronger, whether we would like to believe it or not, whether we see it or not, right? We are stronger than everything that has happened to us because we're still here, right? We still have that passion, we still have that zest for life, right? We still want to create a beautiful life for ourselves, right? And it's never too late to start that process. The next card that came out is the Queen of Water. Now, the Queen of Water talks about being very gentle with yourself, right? It talks about not allowing your emotions to control your reality. It talks about not being the victim. Because when we dive into the Queen of Water, it talks about controlling emotions, right? And when we control our emotions, we are no longer a victim, right? Because we choose how we react to a situation. We are, sorry, Spirit said I don't need to carry on with that. But the next message is that with the Queen of Water, it talks about being an empath, right? Having the ability to feel other people's emotions without necessarily having to go through what they experienced, right? And this is a very powerful spiritual gift that so many of us have that we don't even realize that we have the spiritual gift, and it affects us in such a big way where we feel so many people's emotions, and sometimes it can be overwhelming to experience this, right? To have so many people's emotions come up in your world, in your emotions, right? It is challenging to overcome that. It is challenging to step out of that. But again, the ancestors want us to remember that we are powerful enough to control that, right? Because we have the ability of free will. We can choose how we react to certain situations. The next card that came out is the Queen of Air. So, before I mention what the Queen of Air is all about, I just want to dive into the fact that all three of these cards have females in it, right? And then the Nine of Fire has that female that I just showed you. Then we have the Queen of Water and the Queen of Air. Now, when it comes to the queens, this is bothering me. When it comes to queens, right, it talks about feminine energy. Now, even if you're a male, a man watching my video now, it doesn't mean that you're a female or you're feminine, right? It's talking about connecting to those feminine energies. And what I mean by that is gentleness, softness, right? Compassion, caring, nurturing. All of those qualities come with being a divine feminine. And these are the energies our ancestors are wanting us to connect to at this time. Because we have just experienced really traumatic things, right? Whether it be childhood wounds resurfacing in order for us to heal them, right? Or whether it be a traumatic experience with family or friends, right? And we're needing to be gentle with ourselves, right? Don't be so hard on yourself for everything that you've experienced, right? We need to at some point forgive ourselves and the people around us in order to find that inner peace, the tranquility that we desire. And as I was saying that, how ironic, the Ten of Water comes out, which talks about peace, tranquility, right? Being in harmony with the people around you and yourself, right? It talks about all of those peaceful emotions coming out where we are content with ourselves, right? Now, I just want to speak about the numerology that is on the cards. So only 2 of the cards have numbers on them so far. And the first number is number 9. The number 9 talks about being a humanitarian or being a sage, being someone with a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share. And I feel like the ancestors are saying to us in this reading is that we need to focus on all of the knowledge and wisdom that we've gained from going through these experiences, right? Especially when it comes to healing our inner child, right? I've made that point a few times in this reading, and I feel like the ancestors are definitely saying that this is what we just experienced, right? We just went through this phase of all of our childhood wounds and all the programming we have been through in our lives, and getting to the point where we are changing that programming, right? We are healing that inner child so we can become more curious about life, right? So that we can stop and smell the roses, so that we can identify the blessings that are coming into our lives and grab them with enthusiasm, right? next number is the number 10. How's that? 9, 10, right? So the number 10 talks about a cycle finally ending, and the cycle ending is for good, right? This cycle is finally closing out and will never be repeated again unless you go back into that old way of doing things. And because we just went through this phase of healing our inner child and reprogramming ourselves into becoming a better version of who we're destined to be, right? This is where that cycle is finally ending for us. We are finally getting to the point where we have learned all the lessons that we need to learn. We are going through the stage of life where we've gotten to a point where everything that we've experienced in our past has created the person we are today. And for most of us out there, I say most of us because a lot of us are still linked to trauma and the victim and everything like that. So most of us out there are ready for these opportunities, right? We are ready to take on this destined prosperity that lies ahead for us. So the ancestors want us to focus on the fact that we are evolving, we are growing as people, right? As a collective, we are getting out there and doing and being instead of following the society's norms, right? And that is something that a lot of people have come to realize. Hopefully this reading is confirmation. I feel like I'm repeating a lot, but the ancestors want me to say this, and this is how I feel to get the message out. So please bear with me. And thank you very much for bearing with me. So, the next card that came out is the Magician. Now, the Magician talks about having all of the resources that you need in order to create something in your physical world. It also talks about manifestation, right? Using your manifestation abilities to call in these very positive, humble opportunities, right? Because of your spiritual strength. And I want to say that because we are of peace, love, and light, right? This is where we get our spiritual strength from. It's by being humble, by being grateful, by being full of love, right? Because love is the core essence of everything. And when things are created out of a space of love, it will be infinite. And again, the numerology on this card is the number 1. So how ironic, we have the number 10 and then we have the number 1. So a lot of you could be seeing synchronicities of 1001 or 111, for an example. And this is talking about new opportunities that are being presented or that will be presented in the near future. And I'm definitely feeling these opportunities are created because of the effort that you've already put into things, right? And I want to also make another point real quick, is the 10 talks about closing out a cycle, right? The ending of a chapter. And the number 1 talks about new beginnings, the beginning stage of a new chapter. So the ancestors are showing us here that there is definitely a new beginning that comes after this closing out of that cycle. Then the next card that came out is the 6 of Fire. Oh, I've got hiccups all of a sudden. The 6 of Fire talks about recognition. It talks about receiving the rewards for all of the hard effort that you have put into things, right? That you've put into this business or project or opportunity or whatever it may be for you, right? You are being noticed for all of that effort that you've put in. And people are actually coming to you or will be coming to you and expressing themselves to you when it comes to how much harmony and balance that you've brought into their lives just by being your true authentic self. Right? And this is something that is underrated by so many people, because a lot of the time we have such a profound impact on people's lives, but they don't express it, right? It's like they hide in the shadows and observe and take notes, right? And apply those notes. But then in the past, people would be like, okay, no, I don't need to approach this person for anything, right? Because I'm observing them and I'm taking notes and I'm putting them into effect and it's working. But now that it's working, they're feeling the urge to approach and say, thank you for teaching me this, or I noticed you doing this and I tried it out and it works for me and it's made my life so much better, right? So there's definitely recognition coming in for us in the near future as well. Now, where are those cards? Haha, under my book. Okay. I'm just going to pull a rune card to close out this reading. See what the ancestors want to say with the runes. Okay, I said 1, but hey, we got 4 or 5. Let's see. We got 4. Okay, so I'll read them all just for the fun of it today. The first one we have is called Tiwaz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but hey, that is what it looks like. Now, going back to the imagery on this card, right? This person's hand is in this wolf's mouth, but if you look carefully, sorry, this light. If you look carefully, this wolf has a chain around its neck, and this man's holding this chain. And what that is telling me is that we are in the process of taming our demons, right? We're in the process of stepping into bravery, right? A fight for justice and honor when it comes to what we deserve in our lives, what we do not deserve to, or what we do not want to tolerate in our lives, right? And this is us putting into effect boundaries, right? We need to set boundaries, and this is also what the Queen of Air is all about. I missed this card in earlier, so let me talk about it a bit. The Queen of Air talks about creating boundaries, not taking anyone's bullshit, right? This is also not letting anyone walk over you, right? Or mistreat you or misuse you. This is having those boundaries in place so that that doesn't happen. And this is what I'm feeling with this card as well. It's definitely the ancestors are seeing how we are controlling these negative aspects of our lives, right? And seeing how we tame them, right? We are learning how to control these reactions or emotions when it comes to the negative things that we experience in our lives. Now, the next rune card is Wunjo. Now this card, if you look at it, there are so many people gathered around this flag, right? What that is telling me, or what I'm feeling when it comes to that, is that there's definitely going to be a lot of joy, a lot of fulfillment. It's like a huge gathering of people that extend happiness, right? It's like everyone in this circle or community or whatever we want to call it, we're all on the same vibrational frequency. And what this frequency is is a period of happiness, right? We're learning how to maintain this happiness in our lives by being happy inside of ourselves first, right? This is not looking anywhere else to find the happiness that you desire. It is creating it inside of ourselves first. We make ourselves happy. That's how it is meant to be, right? Yes, things outside of us can bring us happiness, right? Like having beautiful friends or plants, for example. For me, I love my plants, they make me happy. And music, right? All of those things can bring joy and happiness, but that joy and happiness does not come from that music. It comes from yourself. And this is where this next period of our lives is going to be focused on, is by the happiness we create for ourselves. Now, the next card is called Fehu. Now, if you look at all of that cattle over there in this image, it's giving me the feeling of prosperity, right? It's giving me the feeling of, let me catch my words there for a moment. Okay, a bit of a switch here. You see this? It looks like fire raining down from the sky, although it could also be the rays of the sun, right? I feel like that is talking about the intensity of the emotions that have been coming up and the emotions that will come up when it comes to abundance, right? The abundance that we will be receiving in our near future, right? For all of the hard work and effort that we have put into our lives. And the type of intensity I'm feeling is passion, right? Having so much passion that it is a driving force, that nothing can stop you from being passionate about whatever you're passionate about, right? Now, the next card is Dagaz. Again, please forgive me if I'm pronouncing them wrong. I'm still learning about the runes. I recently got this deck of cards, so yes. This card is all about day. It's about the light of the gods, awakening to enlightenment and introspection. Now, what I'm feeling with this card is, if you look at how this woman is standing in this card, she is very calm, right? She looks very humble and she looks very nurtured, right? She looks like she is very grounded, very connected to nature, right? And therefore was prosperity, right? And through this, we are learning how to take on those things within ourselves, right? We're learning how to ground ourselves. We're learning how to bring in that fertility, right? I just want to make another point with this rune card. One of the points of this, the meaning of this card, is the light of the gods. I just want to mention the fact that the ancestors, the Most High, the universe, right, whatever you believe in, whoever you believe in, is saying that you are this light of the gods. You are the light of your ancestors. You are a light of the universe. And this is why in the beginning of the reading I mentioned, let me go back to my note real quickly. Where did I write it? Following your sense of truth will bring you justice when it comes to you stepping out of isolation. And then the next one is stop chasing money and start chasing your purpose, right? And those 2 points there is, I feel like what that's talking about, right? You being the light of the gods, the light of the ancestors. Because you are the one that is breaking these generational curses that the ancestors couldn't break when they were alive in our lineage, right? The ancestors struggled to break these generational curses, right? They struggled to bring that kind of light that you can bring to the universe by being your true authentic self and following your purpose. And the ancestors are saying that we are stepping out of that time of isolation. We no longer have to reflect on ourselves. We no longer have to do that inner work because we've already done it. We've already put in the effort to healing these childhood wounds, right? We've put, as I see the timer, it's 31:13. Let me just explain that a little bit. Okay, so 3 is the creative child, and 1 is a new opportunity or the beginning stages of. Also, 1 is the number of being a leader. So if you put that together, 3 plus 1 is 4, right? And 4 is the number of stability and security. By us being our true, authentic, creative selves and stepping into the sense of leadership and control, right? Starting that new phase with the things that we want in our lives, the new habits, the new personality traits that we want to adapt to, right? We are needing to take control of these things and put it into effect. And that is what brings in the stability and security into our lives. So, I feel like I can't just leave this reading there. So I'm going to pull one more card from my Moonology deck and see what the moon has to tell us today. Please, ancestors, one card. One card for this, from this deck, please. Just to close out the reading. Please show me the card I need to see. Thank you very much. This card is just affirming or confirming this whole reading. I love it. I love it. Okay. So here is the energy is gaining momentum. It's a bit difficult to see because of my lighting. I will change the lighting in the next video. But yes, look how beautiful this card looks, right? Look at all those waves of color being the mountains. Right? It is so beautiful. Anyway. So the energy is gaining momentum. Right? I feel like that talks for itself. It's exactly that. We are stepping into a time where we are noticing everything moving at a more quicker pace, right? Everything we've been working towards is very close, right? The energy is gaining momentum so that we can reach that goal a lot sooner and a lot, what's that word? I just lost that word. Lol. Anyway, maybe I wasn't meant to say it. But yes, that is the reading. Thank you for bearing with me in this reading. Blessings to you all.